In the middle of September 1485, a mysterious disease ravaged the English country. It killed victims within 24 hours, but usually only took 3 to 4, and within 18 hours, 30 to 50% of those afflicted died. The first outbreak occurred on the 19th of September 1485, at the conclusion of the War of the Roses, after the Battle of Bosworth Field, where Richard III was defeated. The new King Henry VII arrived in a disease-ridden London, with thousands dead, and by October, it was reported that 15,000 had died, though we know this to be an exaggeration. Even though several thousand Londoners died, it mainly affected the rural population, with significant deaths also occurring within the student population of Oxford and Cambridge. It was thought that the disease might have been brought over by mercenaries from the Kingdom of France by the new king, but the sickness appeared before his arrival. Poor sewage and general sanitation might have harbored the source of infection, but there's no certainty over the cause. There was a second, less widespread outbreak in 1507, followed by a severe third outbreak in 1517. The disease had a disproportionate effect on the English, as seen by the low numbers of cases with foreign visitors, and this was demonstrated again in the following 1528 outbreak. It was in 1528 that the disease reached pandemic proportions, spreading from England to Hamburg and then sweeping across Eastern Europe, eventually afflicting many countries, including Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Russia, and the Netherlands. The wealthy were affected more than the poor, and many notable figures of the Tudor age succumbed to the sickness. Cardinal Thomas Wolsey, Henry VIII's close friend, and Anne Boleyn, his mistress, were just a few, but both survived, and it's even thought that his son, Prince Arthur, might have died from it as well. Thomas Cromwell's family fell victim too, and he'd end up losing his wife and 2 daughters. It appeared that victims first suffered violent headaches, neck pains, and giddiness. This was the cold stage, and might have lasted up to 3 hours. What followed was the hot stage, when violent, drenching sweat came on, accompanied by severe headaches, delirium, and a rapid pulse. Victims either collapsed or fell into a deep sleep that many did not wake from. To the lucky survivors, the horrors did not end, as survival did not cause immunity like the Black Plague, and some people suffered several bouts before dying. To fight against the disease, it was advised that victims were to go immediately to bed at the first sign of symptoms. There, they were to remain absolutely still for 24 hours, without food or drink. The end would come in 1551, when the last outbreak occurred in England. Believed to have begun in Shrewsbury in April, it killed roughly 1,000 there before spreading quickly throughout the rest of England, most notably killing Duke Henry of Suffolk and his brother, Charles, who died hours later. This was the outbreak recorded by John Case, a well-known doctor who made a large profit from treating nobles of the disease, even though many of them ended up dying. The disease persisted until October, when it finally died out. The sweating sickness would be a fatal phenomenon. It is recorded as one of the deadliest plagues of the era, and its cause still remains unknown.